perfect timing, straight from the Lord himself, for this video here. It's not discipline that you're lacking when it comes to retaining. It's self-respect. Watch this video and I'll explain why it's not about discipline and it's more about self-respect. So, as men, we run off of respect. We respect other men. We're respectful to women. It's just respect. That's our conversation, right? Women, their conversation is niceness, maybe love, things like that, right? You get into a relationship and the woman wants you to love her and you want her to respect you, right? And she has to love you and you have to respect her. But those are secondary for each gender, right? Her main priority is to feel loved. She'll take a little bit of disrespect as long as she knows that you love her. Your main priority is respect. You'll take a little bit of lack of love as long as she's respectful, right? So, as men, if we're operating in this realm of respect, why don't we respect ourselves? In the Orthodox Church, they call masturbation self-abuse. I think that's a really good way to label it. Because even in the Bible, it says basically that all the sins you commit are against the Lord except for masturbation. Masturbation is a sin that you commit against yourself, which makes perfect sense. You do it alone when you're by yourself, you do it with yourself, and you do it to yourself. So it's a self-abuse because we all know ejaculation, masturbation, all of it is not good for us. I know for me personally, right, everyone has a genetic weakness. They have some type of genetic weakness within themselves. When I bust nuts, I realized this years ago, I lose my hair. So my father was bald when he was like 24. Like zero, no hair on top of his head. And when I was 24, I had hair down to my shoulders. And my father was looking at me like, what the fuck? How is this possible? And part of it was because I realized that every time I bust a nut, my hair gets thin. Each individual hair follicle is thinner. I could see it. My hair doesn't look as healthy, and I start to lose more hair than normal. I take a shower, I run my hand. If I retain and I run my hand through my hair, there's no hair in my hand. If I ejaculate and I run my hand through my hair, there's hair in there. There's a clear difference. So this is my genetic weakness. This is my aging. I've got a friend whose eyesight, we're the same age. His eyesight is terrible, and it's getting worse. So that's his genetic weakness. He busts too many nuts, he's gonna go fucking blind. I'm gonna be bald. Praise God, we've all got it, right? We're all fucked up, and we're coming from generations before us that are fucked up. This is why I'm getting on this self-respect thing, because we're at a time in history, in society, that we need to go within in order to fix things. We've been looking outside of ourselves for probably centuries to fix things, and we're coming from generations, 2-3 generations of fucked up people. People that had problems. You might have had a grandfather in World War II, this or that, whatever. My father was born in 1938, the year the Great Depression ended. And he tells me stories of him and his family having to pull water from a well, and they basically had a big pan, a big bowl, and a ladle that they would dip in there, and they would all share this ladle, and that's how they would drink their water. And they were so poor that food was hard to come by. So, like I realized the other day that I have a lot of fear and worry around money. Just internally, I have fear and worry around money because in my life, every time I make money and get good money, it somehow all disappears. Somehow I blow it all and it vanishes, right? So I have a lot of fear and worry because I'll go up and come right back down, and go up and come right back down, right? And I realize that it's that fear and worry coming from a place of lack that holds me back from truly just making money because I'm not having fun with it. I'm not enjoying it. I'm in a state of fear and worry as I'm earning money because I'm like, I have to earn money if I want to eat. Which is what Jesus came for. He came so we could have life and have life more abundantly. Abundantly. You don't have to exist in fear and worry around money, right? That's what he wanted. He wanted us to enjoy ourselves and enjoy life. So we as men need to go inside of ourselves to learn how to fix what's wrong. So you're retaining and you relapse. You're retaining and you relapse over and over and over again, right? And you think, I just lack discipline. I need to discipline myself more. Discipline. And you tighten down harder and harder and harder. And this is the masculinity within you, right? I've been this guy. I ended up like David Goggins, who he ran and did so much on repeat that he became so tight and tense that it was beginning to kill him. And I've ended up that way, where I was just wadded up in a fucking knot because I was so hard on myself and I was such a perfectionist. And all my friends and family would tell me, Nick, you need to chill. Nick, you need to relax. Nick, you need to take a day off. And I would get mad and be like, fuck that. Because inside, I knew everything that was going on. And I was mad at myself for it. And so I had to learn to overcome that anger within myself and beating myself up and just constantly failing and disciplining myself harder because I failed, and then failing again and disciplining myself harder because all I was doing was wadding myself up in a knot. And once I overcame that, I was able to relax and actually overcome porn, right? I had to chill in order to overcome it. I had to calm down. You can't settle something, you can't fix a problem from the same level of mind that created it, right? So you have to step out of yourself. You have to start looking within yourself and say, where is my head at right now? Because where your head is at right in that moment is what created the problem. So you need to be able to see what that is and recognize it so you can move out of it. And so as men, we're disrespecting ourselves when we masturbate. We're destroying our physical health, shortening our lives, making ourselves stupider, making ourselves weaker. You walk out in public and you're vulnerable. You're taking away the potential of getting a mate and having a wife and spreading love down to another generation, reproducing, spreading love and being a better person. You're ruining all of these things for yourself, by yourself, through your own self-actions. You're ruining all these things. This is why they call it self-abuse. Because if you play it out, you're really fucking up a lot of things by sitting alone and masturbating. And you're dealing with a lot of guilt and shame. And you carry that guilt and shame around other people. So you're impacting other people on a subtle, energetic level, right? The aura that everyone's talking about. Your aura is lowered when you do this. So you have to come to a place of respecting yourself as a man. Do I respect myself enough to not touch myself? Do I want my life to get better? Or do I just sit around and whine and cry that my life is not good and I want it to be better, but I don't actually do anything to make it better? Because I think that's where a lot of people end up in life, is they want a better life, they crave a better life, but they don't truly want it because they don't take the actions. They can just verbalize what they want, right? They can't become what they want. So you have to look inside yourself and say, do I respect myself? Do I respect myself? Because I guarantee if you look inside and you ask that question, if you go home tonight and you sit and you don't have your phone on and you just sit down for a good 10 minutes and let yourself relax, let your mind slow down, and then you ask yourself that question, do I respect myself? And you sit there until you get the answer. I guarantee if you're jerking off, you'll come to the conclusion that you don't really respect yourself. And part of the reason you go and jerk off is because you don't respect yourself and you're just knocking yourself down a little bit lower because of your lack of self-respect, right? So you have this feeling of not respecting yourself inside. So you go and jerk off to reaffirm that feeling that you feel and knock yourself just a little bit lower. And so, I could sit here and talk about the benefits of semen retention. Those videos give me the most views when I talk about the benefits and all the good things. And I understand that's what men want to hear. And I'll keep making that content because I also understand it's programming men's minds. It's everything you consume is programming you. So if I can make videos talking about the benefits, that will program you. Maybe I'll start putting more videos out because personally, I like talking about this stuff, the internal stuff that's going on, so you can actually get to the root of the problem and solve the problem. Because like yesterday, I was walking around and I was thinking, when I look back on my time, my several years of retaining, I'm 29 now. I started probably when I was 24, first discovered it when I was 21 by accident. Right? And at 24 was when I was beginning to actually try and make an effort. So it's been 5 years that I've been doing this, right? And as I've gotten older, I've gotten better at it. So have I gotten better at it through practice or because my hormones aren't pumping like they were when I was 18, right? So that's what I was thinking about yesterday was, don't delay. I look back and I'm proud of myself because I tried my fucking hardest. But also, there were times where I slipped and I said, just one more day. And that was wasting time. That was kicking the can down the road. So I have a little bit of both where I'm proud of myself, but I also regret what I did. And so in order to avoid, because that's how life is, as time passes, you're either going to be proud of yourself for what you did or you're going to regret what you did. There's no in between. And you don't want to have the regret. So you need to make the decisions and figure the things out. And you need to do it now because time is passing. And all you have is right now. If you handle everything right now in the current moment, everything tomorrow will take care of itself and the past no longer exists because you're right here, right? Future doesn't exist, past doesn't exist, only this moment exists. So that's what you want to move to and come to a place of understanding, you need to do it today. Today, if you relapse, if you're watching this video and you fucking relapse or you edge, you do any of this stuff, you need to look within yourself and ask yourself the question, ask it this way. Don't say, do I respect myself? Because then you're going to start answering immediately. You don't want to do that. Say, do you respect yourself? Ask it in the second person, like you're talking to someone else. Do you respect yourself? You need to ask it that way because you're asking your subconscious a question from your conscious mind. If you say, do I respect myself? Your conscious mind is going to answer the question for you. You're asking from an ego place. Do I, right? I, the sense of I, who I am, right? You'll say, do I respect myself? And immediately you'll go, well, of course I respect myself. Why would I not respect myself? Because not respecting yourself is a shameful thing. You don't want to be that kind of person, right? Nobody wants to be that kind of person. All of what I just described is your conscious mind and your ego working. So you have to, you're required to ask, do you respect yourself? To get an unbiased answer from your brain. Don't answer the question. Let the question be answered naturally on its own, right? So, if you've made it this far, subscribe to the channel. Share this video with someone that needs to hear it. And start fucking respecting yourself. Y'all have a good one.